Hey, good evening and welcome to another edition of Talking Wrestling. My name is Ralph Williams along with Smokin Jim Frazier, who I have on by phone right now, currently on the phone here. Smokin Jim, welcome to the program. It's great to have you on again tonight.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. It's going to be a great show tonight, buddy.
Oh, yes, it is. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we have a great show for you tonight, okay? We are talking about Vince McMahon. And in case a lot of you have been hiding under a rock, in case you don't know, Vince McMahon is back in the WWE. And guess what? Who knows what's going to happen? But I'm going to bring you tonight the sequence of events in the last 48 hours as to what has happened with the WWE and the return of Vince McMahon. You know what this sounds like, Smokin Jim? I don't know if you remember the Halloween movies, The Return of Michael Myers.
No, I've never seen them.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's just like that. All right, first we're going to start off today's birthdays: the late Abdullah the Butcher, King Mo, and Tamina Snuka. Tamina's 45 today. Happy birthday to them as well, and so there we go. All right, yeah, we're gonna give them a round of applause for their birthday today. So there we are. All right, let's get started with some wrestling news first before we go into this Vince McMahon stuff. Edge is Smokin Jim. Edge is considering retiring after his 2023 contract is up. Also, the belts will be split up. Well, at least that was the plan. The belts are going to be split up. The World Wrestler, or the WWE Championship is going to go to Raw, and the Universal title will stay on SmackDown. Now, Roman Reigns will still continue to be the Universal Champion. They're just going to take the one belt away from him and move it to Raw. That's what's going to happen. And the tag team belt's the same way. That's going to happen as well. New signings: Chelsea Green and Carl Hendricks. Also, Matt Cardona has signed, and so has Nick Aldis. Impact Wrestling, Sami Callihan is leaving Impact. His contract is up. And also Darby Allin last week on AEW beat Samoa Joe for the TNT title. Ricky Starks and beat Chris Jericho, believe it or not. And the seventh match this week will be the Trios Championship, the Death Triangle versus the Elite. Okay, that is some of the small news that we have for tonight, Smokin Jim. Well, let's get started with this Vince McMahon situation. What do you what do you think about this before I go with this stuff?
Like I've always said, I trust Vince McMahon's dad. I trust Vince McMahon. So, wrestling gets 1 billion views, or it's in 35 different languages, and it's mainly all the result of Vince McMahon. So I trust him.
Okay. All right. Now, this is how it got started here. Vince McMahon came back on Sunday, believe it or not. He was authorized on Sunday to go back to the WWE. Now, on Monday, the shareholders had a meeting, and they said that they did not want Vince McMahon back anywhere involved in the WWE. They tried to stop it. Okay. Then the board of directors met, and they said they did not want him back either. So then Vince had found out that there were some more charges involved with him that were not brought up at the first go around with the charges based on the what was going on with him. Then the good news here out of all this was that nothing will happen to creative management because the shareholders were happy with the situation that was going to happen. Then there was a possible sale of the company. We went over that last week. And then Fox and Disney are the two companies. Well, actually, we'll go over it this week of the so-called potential buyers. Now, from what I'm hearing, it has been sold, but to none of these people. Fox, Disney, Netflix, Amazon, just to name a few, were involved in this. Comcast was also involved. Those were the networks that were interested in buying the WWE from Vince McMahon. So then, right after that, the WWE was being sued, but the details were not available for it. So that's the start of this, okay? Smokin' Jim. So that was the start of it. What's your thoughts on the start of this, of how this all started going on before we lead to what I have to say about now?
I'll tell you what, man, it's interesting. Stay tuned. That's all I got to say.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, now here's the latest of this was as of today and part of yesterday. Vince McMahon has sold the WWE to a Saudi Arabia group. The concern here by the wrestlers and concern by the staff is that everything's going to go to Saudi Arabia, and nobody wants to do that. I don't think the Saudis are that stupid. I don't think they're going to do that. What do you think, Smokin' Jim?
I think I'll still be entertained no matter what.
That's it. Sami Zayn is talking about leaving the WWE because for some strange reason he refuses to perform in Saudi Arabia. So, and at this point he was doing the Saudi Arabia thing. He wasn't doing any of the Saudi Arabia appearances at all. But if he may be forced into it, if Saudi Arabia decides to have everything over in Saudi. Triple H, when Vince McMahon officially takes back over creative, could be demoted or fired. That's the latest I'm hearing. Do you think this is a good idea by Vince McMahon, or do you think that this is a bad idea?
I trust Vince McMahon 100%.
All right. Okay, reports are out that Vince McMahon is angry with Triple H for bringing back wrestlers like Bray Wyatt at a high salary. And you know it and I know it, and we both have seen it so far, that Bray Wyatt hasn't done anything really substantial for what the WWE is currently paying him when they brought him back. Do you agree with me on this, or do you think, have you seen it this way as well?
With Bray Wyatt?
Yes.
Yeah, just the way you see it.
Yeah, and also Vince McMahon's very frustrated about some of the other wrestlers coming back and making a lot of money and not being used properly. And he's talking about possibly cutting or firing some of these wrestlers that Triple H brought back. Vince McMahon does not get along with Bray Wyatt, none whatsoever. They don't get along at all. And so there's the consensus there that Vince is going to possibly get this or do a lot of changes when he becomes on creative. Also, Stephanie McMahon announced today she's stepping down. She submitted a letter of resignation. Okay, Smokin' Jim, let's you and I right now sit right here and dissect this. What do you think about all this?
I tell you what, man, it's like I said before, man, it's a lot of information, and all I can say is stay tuned.
Yeah, exactly. I think we all need to stay tuned for this because as of right now, it's just all preliminary. Nobody knows what Vince McMahon's going to do. All we know now is that the WWE has been sold to a Saudi Arabia investment group. And the Saudi Arabia investment group would be silly to just have everything in Saudi Arabia. I don't think that's going to happen, and I don't believe it to be the situation. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. Let's see. What were your thoughts on Raw this week? What did you think about it?
I tell you what, man, I was psyched when I seen my man Monday Night Rollins, man. Throwing away the cage, man. I was like, wow. I thought he'd be out for about a year, man. I tell you what, man, I was excited to see that he'll only be back out a few weeks.
Yeah. Well, there was some worry that he may have torn something bad in his knee, but it's just a sprain. It's not anything torn or anything like that in his knee. So he'll probably be back real soon. Well, what was your thoughts about that tag team turmoil thing? I had a strange feeling from the get-go that Judgment Day was going to win this. Who were you picking in this?
I never go against Dominic, brother. Him and Mama. Yeah, and Dominic came through at the end. So we'll see what happens moving forward with the injuries. But, that was a heck of a tournament, man. To go through those many tag teams in one night and then, still come out victorious. You got to take your hat off to that group.
Oh yeah, and then I think it's going to be a really interesting match when you see how the Judgment Day goes up, how they fare against the Usos. That's going to be a very interesting match right there because Finn Balor's been in some of these matches before. Damian Priest has as well. Them two, or if Dominic decides to get involved, things are going to happen between both factions. This could be a war if it goes this way. What do you think?
Well, I think the bloodline. I think they need Sami Zayn. I didn't see Sami at all Monday night. There could be some problems after Friday. Who knows? But they need all hands on deck to be Judgment Day. Because Judgment Day got a lot of people, and I think Sami would help. I like the way he grabs people's ankles or whatever, to stop them from pinning somebody when they gets the rope and they hit off the ropes for some momentum, and next thing you know, Sami's got their ankle or whatever.
Right.
That helps for the advantage of the bloodline. But without Sami, I think the advantage goes to Judgment Day.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more on that. I don't know what Soa Sikoa can do. I mean, we've seen his domination, but I don't know how much he can go up against the Judgment Day on his own. As far as being the enforcer in that capacity there with the bloodline. Also, the Royal Rumble's coming up. There's talk about a lot of different things going on. There's probably going to be some qualifying matches. I hear there's going to be a bunch of Hall of Famers coming back. What do you think the Royal Rumble's going to look like this year, and who's your prediction to take the Royal Rumble match?
I'm not real sure. I haven't really thought that far in advance right now. I'm still living in the moment.
I'm thinking, I'm hearing stories it could be Drew McIntyre again, which I'm hoping it's not, because I'd like to see something else. But Cody Rhodes is supposed to be coming back. Brandy Rhodes is coming back as well. His wife, she's supposed to be wrestling. She's going to be in a Royal Rumble match. Rumor has it that both of them are going to take both matches. And what's going to happen is you're going to see Brandy Rhodes go up against either Charlotte Flair or Bianca Belair for the title at WrestleMania. And then you're going to see Cody Rhodes go up against Roman Reigns. At least that's the plan for now. No one knows with Vince McMahon coming back what's going on. So right now, it's nothing but a big question mark. And I think that we need to look at WWE like that right now until we find out what Vince McMahon is going to really do. He already put that Khan fellow in as CEO, because he was the CEO or co-CEO along with Stephanie. And now that Stephanie has resigned, he put him in there before Stephanie resigned, and that's why she resigned. So I hate to see Stephanie go. What's your thoughts on this?
One, Cody Rhodes showed a lot of heart and courage when he had the torn pectoral, wherever he had. I mean, that was amazing.
Right.
To beat Rollins in that kind of condition. I know he had to be in a lot of pain. So hopefully when he comes back, he'll come back 100%. And I know he doesn't have a history of injury. So hopefully he got that one injury behind him and he can move forward. I could care less about Stephanie McMahon. You know what I mean? It's not her company. It's her dad's company. So, feelings get involved. Like I said, ego stands for edge and guard out. You got the greatest sports entertainment package in the world.
Right.
1 billion people tune in. You're in many different countries, and I would love to be part of it. I mean, just because you're not the CEO today doesn't mean you won't be the CEO next year or the year after, or you won't inherit it. So, like I said, a lot of people got a lot of quit in them. And, the entertainment value will move on with or without Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, I've said this many times, and you and I and Mark Mancini have had this discussion on our Wrestle Talk show on Thursday nights. And I've said this many times, it don't matter what the product's like, everybody's still going to go to these events because they have gone to it when they were a kid, mommy and daddy, and then mommy and daddy take the kids to it, and the kids start liking it. Then they take their kids to it. It's like a ripple down effect, and so no matter what the product is, people are still going to go unless you get folks like myself who figure, why should I spend money on a product that's not there? You know what I'm saying? Like I do with the Pirates and some other things, and as far as that goes. So, but there's not too many folks like me. There are folks who will, spend their money regardless and go to the Raw events and stuff, regardless of what the card is, regardless of what the product is. The WWE will always make money, as you said. On Raw, also on Monday night, they had some other matches. What were your thoughts on the matches?
Which one in particular?
Just any one of them. I see that Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin are back together. As I've said, and I spoke about this last week, that there was a rumor going on about the Hurt Business coming back. It's looking like that could be a reality real soon. I'd like to see that, wouldn't you?
Well, I like MVP, and I like the way MVP approached Leslie in the locker room. I think that once he gets him on board, he already has the other two guys. I think they're missing almost. I guess you said he went back home to his home country.
Yeah.
So if they can get him some kind of way,
right.
I think that they will have what it takes. They have the nucleus to move past the bloodline.
Right. I think if I'm hearing the stories now that Lashley will be the WWE champion in Raw, and then the Hurt Business, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin will be Raw Tag Team Champions again. Because you could see the Usos back on SmackDown with their titles, because the Raw titles are supposed to be on Raw and the SmackDown titles. So I guess the Bloodline will stay in SmackDown. And then, so we'll see how this all works out and plays in. You could see the Judgment Day going up against the Hurt Business. That would be an interesting scenario right there. I mean, you really could see that as well. There's a lot of different scenarios we could see here with Vince McMahon. We're not sure exactly what's going to happen, but we could see them as well. What other tag teams do you think that are in Raw other than the Judgment Day? What's your thoughts on Otis and Gable and some of the other ones that were in there, the Street Profits? You think the Street Profits still has what it takes, or you think they're going to be sort of put down into a lower pedestal?
Well, I don't know if they'll win a championship, but their fan base is incredible.
Right.
So they're tremendously consistent. They're exciting. They do exciting brand of wrestling. The fan base is there. One guy's married to Bianca Belair, so he got good judgment.
Right.
And so I just think they're all you can do, man, is put yourself in position as a contender to be in a title picture, and that's what they are. They're right there, and who knows, man? They may end up winning the title one day. I don't think it'll be right now. I wouldn't rule out New Day. They're the NXT champions, and they got a fan base as well. I'm not a big fan of the New Day, but people seem to like them.
Yeah, the Kevin Owens match against Baron Corbin, you kind of suspected Baron Corbin was going to lose in that match. What do you see with Baron Corbin here with JBL? Do you think he's going to move up, or do you think his gig's going to go bye-byes? What's your thoughts on this?
Well, JBL's my man. He talked about the rednecks. And then Corbin came out and said, all I got to say is, so-and-so is Georgia and this guy's Alabama. Oh, that was funny, man. So, yeah. But I think they work well together. I don't think that Corbin on his own gets over with the fans. I think he's always considered a heel, and JBL is just a great spokesperson, and they're both big men, tall, and they got that presence. So I like that duo. I like when JBL comes out.
How about the Bailey Mia Yim match? What was your thoughts on that match?
I tell you what, man, Bailey's just a fighter, man. There's a couple of times where she could have quit and gave in, man, but she got the heart of a champion. She came through. She had a little help.
Oh yeah.
and, but she came through, and you know, so yeah, I was happy for her, man. She's a fighter.
You're watching Talking Wrestling here on YouTube and Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. My name is Ralph Williams, along with Smokin, Jim Frazier. We're here every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. We're talking WWE, Raw, and SmackDown. We'll be talking about SmackDown in a few seconds. Later on in the program, we'll have our Where Are They Now segment tonight, which is The Undertaker. We'll be talking about him and what he's doing now, what he did before, where are they now, and what are they doing. And last week we did Ric Flair. Had a great show, some great comments on that one. You know, so all right, the next match, Candice LeRae versus Rhea Ripley, and of course, Mommy won that match. Smokin' Jim.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that Mommy got challenged there, but she handled business. It was a good match for a short period of time, but Mommy's just too big and strong.
Oh, absolutely. All right, hang on a minute. We have some comments in the comments section. All right, good old Sean here. Thanks for watching, Sean. What Vince did was wrong, and he said he sees that the company will be going bankrupt soon. They've never gave the company to the Saudis. Being a fan since the Attitude Era, this hurts. Yes, it does, Sean. Thanks for watching tonight. I appreciate it, and your comments as well. Soa Sikoa versus Dolph Ziggler. You knew where this was going. It was Soa Sikoa, but Dolph gave him a fight. Turned down Mustafa Ali for a opportunity in that tag team turmoil thing, and Mustafa Ali was not happy about that at all, and which of course I can understand that. And then Dom cut his promo again, and Corey Graves, he's at it again. He keeps on going on and on about how he did such hard time. He was only in jail, and like, he was only in jail for like overnight. Corey Graves is spewing this like he was in prison for 20 years and everything else. What's your thinking on this?
Well, whether it was 10 hours or 2 days, jail can change a man, and it changed Dominic.
yeah, exactly.
So, I've seen movies where they take these kids and scare them straight. They put them in jail for a few hours, and that straightens them out, man. So if he was there for a couple of days, that's enough time to change it. So he got street cred now. He's a lot tougher now, and that was evident in the match when he got the opportunity, to win that last match as a tag teamer.
Yeah, I'm also hearing some stories about, and I forgot to bring this up as well. I'm also hearing some stories about the Karrion Kross maybe going bye-byes too. He was not a big Vince McMahon was not a big fan of Karrion Kross. I forgot to mention that as well. He may be going bye-byes when Vince takes over creative. Vince doesn't like him. Vince never thought he was a decent talent. He was pushed up too soon, and so. What do you think about this? And also, he's upset about the fact that when they brought him up, they didn't really use him very well. What do you think about that? Do you think that's the right truth on this?
I'd be surprised if they got rid of Karrion Kross for one reason. His wife impressed me with her wrestling skills. I didn't think that. She was still raw, but she's strong. And one time, she picked a girl up and threw her over her back, and I'm like, holy heck, man, that takes some strength to do that. She showed enough wrestling ability that she can improve, and I think that both of those together, I think, would be enough for Vince to keep Karrion Kross, on Raw or SmackDown.
Also, you saw the match with Karrion Kross and Scarlett. They took on Madcap Moss and Emma, and they won that match. I was impressed with it as well. Charlotte Flair defeated Sonya Deville. You knew that was going to happen. Sonya Deville's been trying to get back into the fold, and it's not working right. What's your thoughts on this match?
Well, I tell you what, I wish Sonya would go back up in the management. I think that she was better in management. She's never going to win the championship as a wrestler.
No.
But you know, she's tough and she can talk trash and she challenges everybody. Like you said, you knew she was going to tap out eventually, but I think that you know, she served a purpose in management, especially now that Stephanie McMahon's not coming back.
Yeah, the Top Dollar, Ricochet defeated Top Dollar Friday for one of the Royal Rumble qualifying matches. I hear that the Skid Row is now going as to be heels. This transfer to a heel. What do you think of this?
I thought they were always a heel. I mean, I never know that they was something different. I thought it was Bush League. They shake Ricochet's hand and beat the crap out of him. Even the girl kicked him with her boots.
Hey, she can fight, man. I seen her when they went up against the Judgment Day at one time. I seen her kick Rhea Ripley right in the head. I mean, I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? You know.
But I've been watching. I've been watching that group for a long time, and it looked like the big man is he sick or something? I see a lot of loose skin. Maybe tried to lose weight. I know they say he used to play in the NFL, but it just seemed like he was at a fuller mass doing than he does now. Now it looks like his skin is hanging, and I don't know if he's sick or he's losing weight or. I know he used to pick two guys up at the same time and slam them down, but I'm not sure how much longer he can perform something like that. So I don't know. I mean, if you check him out the next time, you know, whenever he raises his hand or do anything, you just see the loose skin just hanging.
Yeah, so, that could be because you know, like I said, well, his name is Top Dollar, the big dude, and you know, Skid Row's the name of the tag team, the group. So, I mean, you know, but I think they're going to be okay. I think that you know, maybe perhaps them being a heel might work out better for them than they were with the you know, with the whole situation with you know, being a baby face team or whatever, and then you know, getting laughed at by the locker room in the back, I think did them in a little bit as well. And so also Kofi Kingston on Tuesday night or on NXT went up against one of them guys from one of them other tag teams. I'm hearing stories now that Xavier Woods is injured, and they're not going to be able to defend their titles, but they said it's not a serious injury, but he is injured and has not been medically cleared to wrestle. So Kofi's going to be doing one-on-one matches. So that's why you don't see Xavier Woods doing any wrestling at this moment. Anyway, all right, let's get into our Where Are They Now segment, The Undertaker. Let's talk about The Undertaker a little bit. He was born Mark William Calloway, March 24th, 1965, better known ring name as The Undertaker. He is also widely regarded as one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. Smokin. Jim Calloway spent the vast majority of his career in the WWE. He started out in 1989 in WCW, and also he was been employed with the WWE for well over he signed in 2019. Smokin' Jim, he signed a 15-year contract to stay with the WWE. I hear he still wrestles occasionally. He might show up at a WrestleMania and wrestle a match, things like that. So also, and then his ring names were Commando, Mark Callis, Mean Mark Callis.
Callis?
Yeah, Callis. Yeah, Callis. But it was spelled differently, though. It's spelled Callous, not the way Nick Callis' name is spelled. Yeah. Anyway, Mean Mark, Dice Morgan, the Master of Pain when he was in the Independents. The Punisher, Texas Red. Oh my gosh. He's 6'10", 309. He is originally billed from Death Valley, but currently lives in Houston, Texas. So he was trained. Guess who he was trained by? Buzz Sawyer. So I remember Buzz Sawyer from back in the day. He debuted in 1987 and he retired in 2020. So he worked under various gimmicks. He started in 1987 for World Class Championship Wrestling, WCCW, before they became WCW. And then he became the USWA Unified World Heavyweight Champion. Then he was the Texas Heavyweight Champion. And then after signing with World Championship Wrestling in 1989, he had a brief stint in the mid-card as Mean Mark Callis before joining the WWE officially in 1990 as The Undertaker. What are your thoughts currently right now as to what I mentioned? What was your favorite Undertaker match of all time, do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. You're just talking about a legend. He's a guy, man, just from his walk to the ring, to his music, you know, the whole bit, the last man standing in the ring. You just name it, man. Undertaker was just, he just put fear in men that other men feared.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
that's the best way to sum
Absolutely.
it up, man.
And I liked Paul Bear. And I'm going to tell you a little cab story here that I have. That I went to go respond to a call at the airport Marriott, and I'm coming in from the airport, and it was on a Friday night, and that's when they had that's when they always had the matches down, the house shows or whatever they were doing down at WWE down at the arena. So I'm going inbound to go pick the trip up. I get down there and I see Henry Godwin. And I see Paul Bear standing at the front. And they said, is this for Paul? And I said, yes. So they get in, and I see the Undertaker there. He had to wait because he was waiting for the tow truck company to tow their car. They had they hit a deer right out by the old airport terminal out in Moon and walked all the way to the airport Marriott with their stuff to get a cab. So what had happened was, well, actually, they called the shuttle, I was told. The shuttle went and got him, picked him up, brought him into the hotel. I took him into the city, and I was talking to them. And guess who he was fighting that night for the King of the Ring crown at the Mellon Arena?
Who?
Remember Big Mabel?
Yeah. Big Mabel, yeah.
He was fighting Big Mabel for the King of the Ring crown. And I had the privilege of talking to Paul Bear and Henry Godwin. It was a nice little ride. And it was great to see them there. But the Undertaker, he had to stay behind because he had to wait for the tow truck driver to pick up the vehicle and the insurance. He had to wait for something there. I don't know what he was doing. And he was going to get a cab and come in later on. They had enough time, but it was just a concept. It was interesting to pick them up there. And I had, in my time, too, I had Moolah in my cab. I had Maylin and Moolah. I picked them up out at the Holiday Inn, the old Holiday Inn out in Moon. Took them into the city for the matches. And I think I've already told you this story when I was working as a bellman at the airport Marriott there. And I took Rey Mysterio, and I got to meet Dominic when he was little. I took him, and I took Batista's family up, and I took Rey Mysterio's family up to their rooms, on a bell cart and everything, took their luggage up and everything else. So it was interesting. The folks I met, the wrestlers I met with that, and also speaking of the Undertaker, he also had a very, very comprehensive record. Winning at WrestleMania. He only lost 2 matches. Smokin' Jim, do you know what 2 they are?
No.
He lost to Brock Lesnar, and he lost to Roman Reigns. Those were the only 2 matches he lost at WrestleMania.
Wow.
And to this day, he has the longest record. Well, the first match he had in WrestleMania, he beat Jimmy Snuka, and that was in 1991. The 92 WrestleMania 2, he fought Jake the Snake Roberts. He beat him. I'm sorry, no. April of 1992, WrestleMania 8, and WrestleMania 7, he beat Jimmy Snuka. WrestleMania 8, he beat Jake Roberts. And then in WrestleMania 9, he beat the Giant Gonzalez. Okay. And then in WrestleMania 11, he beat, WrestleMania 11, he beat King Kong Bundy. Remember King Kong Bundy?
Yeah, I do.
and then in WrestleMania 12, he beat Big Daddy Diesel. And then he beat Psycho Sid Vicious in WrestleMania 13. WrestleMania 14, he beat Kane. WrestleMania 15, he beat the Big Boss Man. Remember him?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
He played the police officer.
Exactly. Yeah. Cobb County, Georgia. He was the sheriff there or something. Yeah.
He was tough.
Oh, yeah. In 2001 in WrestleMania 17, he beat Triple H. In WrestleMania 18, he beat Ric Flair in 2002. 2003, he beat it was a handicap match. And this is when he became 11-0 at WrestleMania. He beat the A-Train and the Big Show. The A-Train and the Big Show. 2004, he beat Kane. 2005, he beat Randy Orton. 2006, WrestleMania, he beat Mark Henry. He was one of the few wrestlers who actually could beat Mark Henry. Mark Henry
was a strong man. Mark Henry was a strong man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was. He's working for AEW right now. He's an ambassador and an announcer for them. Friday night, I was watching Rampage, and guess who was the announcer on Rampage? He was part of the announce team.
Who?
Big Show.
Really?
Yeah, he's going by his real name, Paul White. So Paul White was there. He was, and Jim Ross is sick. I forgot to bring that up to you too. He's got some kind of cancer, and he hasn't been on for a few. And he's ill. So I wanted to let you know that prayers go out to Jim Ross and his family. Hall of Famer Jim Ross. Also Damar Hamlin today. Speaking of Damar Hamlin, he was released today from Buffalo Hospital. I don't know if you know that or not.
Oh, that's great. I know his lawyer got 2 patents. One is who won. Did we win? That's one of his patents.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, you know what I'm patenting, don't you? The way I see it.
That's it. Why not?
Why not? That's right. I'm gonna make T-shirts the way I see it. Oh, that's a good marketing idea, though. All right, 2007, he beat Batista. 2008, he beat Edge. And then Shawn Michaels in 2009. 2010, he beat Shawn Michaels twice. He beat him again. Then Triple H twice again. He beat him in 2011 and 2012. 2013, he beat CM Punk. Wow. CM Punk. Then in 2014, he beat Brock Lesnar. He was 12. Then he became 12-1. Or I'm sorry, he lost to Brock Lesnar. And then he beat Bray Wyatt in 2015. 16, he beat Shane McMahon. 17, he lost to Roman Reigns. 18, he beat John Cena. And then 2000, he didn't participate in WrestleMania in 2019. 2020, he beat, in his final match to become 25-2, he beat AJ Styles in a boneyard match.
Wow.
So that was his final match as far as, his WrestleMania career. He has the longest, the best record of any wrestler in WrestleMania. He was involved in a match right before 2000. I think it was 2019 in Saudi Arabia with Bill Goldberg. That match wasn't all that great. I'm hearing stories that they may fight again. Of course, I'm also hearing stories, too, that Bill Goldberg may not even be back with the WWE. His contract has run out, and if they want him to wrestle, they're going to have to pay him $1 million a match. And the last few matches he has had have been bum matches. I mean, he didn't do anything in them. They were quick pinfalls. So I
like when they beat up his son or whatever.
Yeah. That was when the bloodline picked on his son. Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty. Yeah, that was interesting there. Yeah, yeah. No, I liked it when he was fighting Bray Wyatt for the title, and he says to Bray Wyatt, he says, "You could take your little corny show and you could go somewhere with it." You can take your little corny show. Oh. Some of the stuff he's done over the years, Bill Goldberg, has been interesting. We can do the way are they where are they now with him next week. I think that would be a good idea. I was getting a lot of requests for the Undertaker from some of our viewers. That's why I decided to do the Undertaker. But last week I was really interested in doing Ric Flair, and that's why I did Ric Flair last week instead. But at least we got the Undertaker out for all of our fans. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. And we really appreciate you. And I also appreciate your subscribing to my YouTube page. And I'm up to 74 now. So, and the new year has begun. I asked for 60. I got 65 at the end of the year. And then now I'm up to 74. So, Smokin' Jim, I've gained 9 since the new year has started. So that's great.
Congratulations.
So, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Smokin' Jim, you have any final comments tonight?
No, I don't, man. What a wealth of information coming from you tonight on this show, man. You pack it in for 30 minutes, brother.
Yeah, I did. Well, actually 40 minutes, but that's fine, But I did pack it in. Yeah, we had. I wanted to get through everything with Vince McMahon, what was going on in the course of the last 48 hours. Keep with us. Tomorrow night, I'll probably have more new information about Vince McMahon. Don't forget about our Wrestle Talk show, 347-205-9631. Wrestle Talk live, Blog Talk Radio, 7:30 start time tomorrow night, 7:30, not 8 o'clock. We're going to be on for 1 hour tomorrow night because we're making up for when we were off for the holidays. So we're making up for that. And tomorrow night, we're on for 1 hour, Smokin' Jim, 60 minutes of wrestling and a little bit of sports. I think it's going to be a great night. We're going to probably talk some more about the coaching carousel going on. I heard a story today that Sean Payton interviewed with the Arizona Cardinals today. So we're going to see how that goes. You know what I'm saying? So we'll go from there on that. Smokin' Jim, thanks for being part of the show. I will talk with you tomorrow night on Wrestle Talk. Folks, don't forget 347-205-9631. Everyone have yourself a great night. Thank you for watching and be safe.